your 21-day meditation reprogram to reset our subconscious mind, to work on our core wounds. See, there's these core wounds that happen to us during childhood, and they come from essentially our unmet needs, and how those unmet needs of ours create the beliefs about ourselves. Perhaps we're not good enough, or that someone will leave, or that I'm defective. And when we get triggered, we have to think about, what is it that I'm most afraid of? What will happen next? What is my trigger asking me to react to? What do I believe about myself when I'm triggered? So close your eyes and pick the wound that is troubling you the most. So it could be, I'm not good enough, I'm going to be abandoned, I will be betrayed, I'm defective, I'm trapped. Just pick one core wound that keeps showing up for you and keeps creating havoc in your life. Something that you're ready to let go of, and just think of that wound, but think of the opposite of that core wound. So if you feel trapped, feel free. If you feel abandoned, where do you feel connected? And what I will ask you to do next is just, let's place different evidence of different memories around leveraging that repetition, that emotion, and that imagery of the opposite. So let's speak to the language of our subconscious mind. Keep eyes closed, keep yourself relaxed. And we'll use the example of, I'm not good enough. I want you to take a moment and think of time that felt the opposite of that core wound, and look at that different area of your life. We can start with looking at our careers. These places or these times or situations where you felt the opposite of your core wound. We can look at different traits we express. We can look at different ways we've shown up with other people. Maybe as friends, as mentors, or as someone who cares for us. And just take a moment and really sit and bathe in that memory and that experience. And now get more specific. The more detailed, the more feelings you can evoke, the more specific the imagery can become for you, the easier of a job you will have to reprogram your subconscious. So pick one thing that you can see in your career area, and let's complement it with another. So find another time you felt the opposite of that core wound, where you felt connected, where you felt good enough, where you felt free, and look for that second time you felt that show up in your life in a way that demonstrated those attributes. And if you can, try and really feel about it in your body. Try to feel the different sensations that appear, the feeling in your body of that being free, of feeling connected, the pride in yourself, the pride on your face, of being enough, and really try and sit in that for a moment. Now let's move into another area. Let's look at our friendships. Where have you shown up or had an experience to the opposite of that core wound? Where have you shown up as a great friend? What traits or characteristics where you felt free or connected? And try and find a specific time and memory where you felt the opposite of that core wound. And try to really notice it as your imaginary mind, memory recall, feel it, touch it, experience it, what people felt around you, how you felt cared and supported, what was the experience you had. And try to really feel those emotions and sensations in your body. And remember, the more specific, the more detailed, the more feeling you can evoke, the deeper the reprogramming reaches your subconscious. Now let's move into another area. Let's look at family. Let's look at a time that was specific in your family dynamic where you felt the opposite of your core wound. What attributes did you showcase? How did you show up as a human being? What characteristics did you naturally have as a person when nobody is watching that is the opposite of that core wound? That feeling that makes you good enough. That feeling that made you feel free and connected. Try to anchor into that very specific memory and that very specific moment where you felt a lot of that emotion, and notice the images of everyone around you, how they showed up, how they made you feel. Just be in that emotion, feeling it in your body, letting it wash over you, really allowing it to anchor into your subconscious mind. And now we're going to move into another area. Let's look at relationships romantically. Let's look at the natural characteristics or attributes you have as a person. Again, who you are when no one is watching, who you truly are deep down, and in the way that you show up in romantic relationships. What beautiful characteristics do you have to offer that gently oppose that core wound, the unnecessary stories or lies you've been holding on to about yourself for too long? Try to really think of the opposite of that wound and how you are so worthy of love, or that you are good enough, or how relationships can also set you free or keep you connected. Try to really highlight that specific memory in your mind's eye to oppose that core wound. Try to be as specific as possible with all the images. What do you notice? How does that person look at you in that moment? In that memory, how do you feel in that memory? Do you notice any emotions or sensations in your body? Feelings of joy, pride, care? Try to really feel those now. And notice how they really allow you to experience that. Let that experience wash over you. We'll do one last experience. I want you to now look at the relationship to yourself and look at an experience to the opposite of your core wound. Something you personally deeply feel made you the opposite of that core wound. Perhaps made you feel worthy of connection or love, or perhaps you know that you can set yourself free, or makes you feel proud, good enough. I want you to be honest with yourself and look at you in that moment that you're proud of you, the feeling that was opposite of that core wound. Try to really hold that in your mind's eye, a memory where you can specifically express the opposite of that core wound. When you have that, try to sit with it for this moment and really feel what you were feeling in that memory. And that memory, you saw that you were good enough, you saw that you were lovable, and you saw that you could be free. And as you sit with this memory, notice the emotions in your body. Notice the feeling of lightness in your chest, of the expansion in your torso, and allow that to really wash over you. And how remembering this feeling is the start of something that you can be doing and feeling and experiencing every day, that you have the power to communicate. You can communicate through your subconscious mind on a daily basis. You can feel the opposite of all of those core wounds that you are sick and tired of feeling and experiencing and want to set yourself free from. And just keep holding those feelings. Keep remembering those opposing memories. Keep returning back to this anchoring of more and more emotion and repetition and evidence. As you repeat this for the next 21 days, you will feel, you will believe, and you will be the opposite of your core wounds, and let go once and for all. Let's take a big belly of breath. Feel the expansiveness of your back body, front body. Hold the breath, hold the energy at the crown of your head. Don't be afraid of holding your breath. It's your prana, your life force, your chi, your energy. Holding it, accumulating it, is a magnifying glass with the sun streaming through. You can burn, you can pierce, you can be a force. So keep that force field, hold, and slowly, step by step, release through the mouth. Really pull the belly button into spine, let it go. Then another force field breath, climbing from the base of your spine. Feel it as it moves to the top of your crown, to the highest point of your being, the crown chakra. Hold it there, let it accumulate. Experience, feel, and be in that energy. As though you're washing yourself away, discharge the breath out the mouth slowly, step by step. Like a filtration system, pull the belly button to the spine. One big gulp of breath, pulling the air all the way up. Last time, all the way high to the highest point, your crown chakra, the tip of your head. Hold. Let it accumulate. Let it build. Let it store. Let it harness. And as you let go, really let go. And invite the gesture to connect back to your heart with the left hand on your heart space, followed with the right hand. And this ancient gesture invites you to connect back to you, to connect back to yourself, to connect back to your authenticity, beyond your experiences, beyond the things that have happened to you, beyond your core wounds. Deciding again and again to rewrite your story, invitation to reprogram your subconscious mind. Allowing yourself to know that if you continue this constantly, steadfast for 21 days, you can once and for all be free and make a vow to yourself in this moment. I will set myself free. You may release your practice. Open the eyes gently, let go of the hands, give the hands a shake, a big shoulder roll. Just be in this moment. And if you can, even better to journal and keep remembering those instances, those memories, those experiences that are the counter force of those wounds that have had you stagnant and stuck. Knowing that the reprogram starts back from you. Those core wounds were formed from repetition followed by emotions that happen in our childhood. And they make you believe things because of those core, repetitive and emotional charged feelings. But you can do that again. You can rewrite it again. You can emotionally charged new feelings. And when you emotionally charge them, it creates an experience within your body. Every cell reverberates and experiences that. And in doing that, you reprogram yourself. That's how neural pathways work. That's how reprogramming works. So please be honoring your journey, be compassionate and gentle and kind, but most of all loving. May you be free. Namaste.